Hello, I'm David.
Hi, I'm Julie.
Now we're going to do a review of Heroes of Barcadia, and this is the Kickstarter edition, although not much is different from what I imagine the retailer edition will be. Just some extra components. Hopefully you've had a chance to check out our how to play and playthrough. And I have to put it on its side here to make it fit. So this is for 2 to 6 players, 21 and up. Now that we'll talk about that in the review. And it's about 30 to 90 minutes to play. If this takes more than 90 minutes to play, then I don't think you're getting up off the table.
Probably not.
Yeah, this is, you saw in the picture here that that is not apple juice in those glasses. And so when you look here, you're going to have cups that represent your hero's life. They're 16 ounce cups. These are not machine washable.
I mean, dishwasher safe.
Right, they're not dishwasher safe, so you got to hand wash them.
Yeah.
So you'll start out with 60 hit points, life points.
Yep.
You can put any drink you want in there. So if you really want to play with someone under 21, you can play with Coke, and you'll see on the playthrough because I'm a teacher, I cannot be drinking in public due to morality clause. So I'm going to be using non-alcoholic beverages when you watch the how to play and playthrough.
Yep.
So the object of the game is to defeat the Grand Drink Guardian.
You got to show him.
And so he's going to be hidden somewhere in the map. So this is a race game to try to beat him. Now you see, when you do have a glass, you get a matching die with it, and it's a 20-sided die. So there is a certain amount of randomness in the game. Even though you'll be getting power-ups and what do they call those?
Loot cards.
Loot cards to help you defeat other monsters and bosses. You can't use them usually with this guy. So you need to get a 15 or higher, which means you only a 25% chance you're going to be able to defeat him. And every time you lose, you're going to have to drink 10 hit points from your glass here. Now we'll explain why it's a balancing element, because you can find this guy right away. All right, but it can be difficult to beat him on purpose as part of the game design, and it's not a bad thing. It says here you must collect 3 power-ups to battle the Grand Drink Guardian. So even if he comes up early, you still have to have 3 power-ups, and these are these yellow cards here, and you'll get them fighting different monsters or finding them in rooms and locations. So for instance, this one here, once during your turn, you may drink 5 hit points from your health bar. If you do, draw 2 loot cards. Our son was doing that, and he was getting lots of loot.
Yes, he was.
This card here, +3 attack against monsters level 10 or higher. Notice it's monsters. You can't use it on bosses. And then this one here. I'm just going to show you a few. Once during your turn, before you complete an action, you may inflict 5 hit points of damage on an opponent in an adjacent room. So there's definitely some take that to this game. So let's take a look at how you set it up. I have these off to the side here because in a 2 or 3 player game, it recommends that you remove a certain amount of tiles. Otherwise, the game can take a lot longer.
Sure.
So it suggests that you remove 4 bosses, 10 monsters, 4 reward tiles, and 2 magic portals. Magic portals, and it's spelled P-O-U-R, portal. So that's again, so you remove these and you have less of a deck. So these will be upside down, and you just indicate, I want to move in there, and you flip it up. And once it's flipped up, you get the power up, or you get 2 loot cards, and then once it's revealed, you can't encounter those rooms again. Now there might be some cards where you can flip them back down again and re-encounter them, but once you get them, they're gone. Now portals, you can move on to, say this is off to the side here, and you got a bunch of connecting rooms. You want to get back to here to go this way. It doesn't cost an action to use a portal, but once you've used one on your turn, you can't use it again. So let's take a look at some of the monsters here. And it gives you different rewards. So you need an 8 to defeat it. And if you lose, you got to drink 10 from your health bar. You get 1 loot card and 1 power up if you defeat it. So let's say Julie decides to go, she reveals this tile, she rolls it. If she rolls 8 or less, she fails, then it flips back down and she has to drink from the cup. She could decide next turn to go back in there. Okay. But you only keep it face up if you defeat it, and that indicates that you can move through it without encountering the room again. So let's take a look at some other ones here. You have the
Drinkaholic.
The Drinkalich.
Of Drinkalich.
3 loot cards, 2 power, but you need a 20.
Oh my gosh.
And so you better have some loot cards to help do that.
Yeah.
Here's this one, the Micro Brunicorn. You just get 2 loot cards, but he's weaker.
Hobgoblin.
The Hobgoblin. 1 loot card because he's so weak. Now, you'll see there's some monsters here that are more difficult. Like, this is a 22. Well, how can you defeat that guy unless you have some loot cards or power-up cards to help you? Well,
it's a team battle.
It's a team battle. So you pick someone else at the table, and you both roll, and you add your dice together. But if you lose, you both take 10 from your health bar. But if you win together, you both get 2 loot cards. Now, boss battles, this is some of that player interaction, and take that aspect of it. If you choose your enemy, so if I encounter this in a 2-player game, I would always choose Julie. So it would just be a dice off between Julie and I, and she might have some cards that she can add in, or I might have some cards I can add in. Whoever wins gets 3 loot cards. Well, sorry, if I win, I get 3 loot cards and 1 power-up. If Julie wins, because I chose her, I take 10 damage, and I don't get anything.
I don't get anything either, but I just make him drink.
Right, but if Julie loses, she drinks, and I get the loot. So those are some of the things. Let's take a look at what the loot cards do. You do start out with 3 loot cards in the beginning of the game. No power-ups. And there's basically 6 different types. So you have, for instance, this one right here. And it tells you in the upper left-hand corner there, you play during your turn. You may complete 1 additional action this turn. So those are green cards. I'll go over the actions in a moment. Mega Drain. These are just some samples here. Play during your turn. The monster that you're about to battle receives -4 level reduction for this battle only. So let's say you tie, you have to re-roll. This card will not be in effect on the re-roll. Thirst Aid. Play between turns. You heal yourself 10 health points. This one right here is a Angry Mob. Play between turns. Count to 3. On 3, each player point at an opponent. The player with the most fingers pointed at them takes 10 health points damage. You cannot be targeted. That's pretty cool. Well, in a 2-player game, that's not going to do much. Okay, All-Seeing Eye. Play between turns. Choose a room of the dungeon that is not revealed. Peek to see what it is without showing your opponents. Then place the room face down in the same position. So that's a nice one here. Again, here's a different one here. Swipe Power-Up. Play between turns. Steal 1 power-up from an opponent of your choice. So let's take a look now at the actions that you're going to do. Very simple. So this shows you a little bit how it's set up. And you can see in the playthrough how we set it up. So you have 3 actions. You either reveal and enter a room. And you only enter it if you defeat the monster there, or there's a reward there, or a magic portal. This one here is enter revealed rooms. That means if they're already revealed, you can move 2 spaces through them. And the center space is considered all one room here. Okay. And the third action you can do is attempt to claim the drink hoard. That means this is up and you're adjacent in an adjacent room and you try to win the game. Now there's a couple other things you can do. You can place cards with traps. You can only place them on unoccupied rooms. So if this room is revealed and this room is not revealed, I can put them on either one. And that means that before, say, Julie wants to move into this room, she has to roll a die. If she rolls 10 or higher, she disarms the trap. If she rolls 9 or less, she has to take 10 hit points of damage, and then she can still go into the room. And she still reveals the room and faces what's in there next. So those are traps that can happen. Another thing can happen is that you can duel. So say Julie's right here, and that's the only way I can get to the hoard, is right here. There's no other way to get to the hoard. Well, how do I?
the guard.
Yeah, well, it's the.
Oh yeah, you're right. Drink hoard.
The drink hoard.
That's his name. Yeah.
I can't get there. Well, they've solved that by dueling. So it's my turn. I can duel. This does not take one. There's not one of those 3 actions. So we just do a dice off. I roll. Okay, I got a 16, 11. Julie takes 10 hit points of damage. I move in there. You can do a duel once. So now I can use my regular action to try to win the game here. But let's say I failed the duel. I take 10 hit points of damage, and I can do something else if I really want to. But I'm trying to get here. You can duel players anytime you want, but usually you're going to do it if someone's blocking you from getting to the horde.
But you couldn't do it again if I won.
Right, you only do a duel
Okay.
once per turn.
Okay.
So you're going to get loot cards, play them during the game. You're going to be revealing rooms. You got to get 3 power-ups before you can defeat the
Drink horde.
get the drink horde. The other thing is you can't die in this game. There's no player elimination.
It's nice.
So let's say I did reveal this room, and I didn't defeat it, and I'm down to 0. I have to drop a power-up that I have in the space I'm in. Okay, now this is all one room, okay? And then I fill up to full again, and I have to remove all loot cards from my hand except 1. So I could have 3 power-ups. I only drop 1. And if I don't have any power-up, I don't drop any, obviously. And if I have any loot cards I have, I'm down to 1. So I'm still in the game, but there's a penalty. So these would get discarded except 1, and I can still get my power-up later, but Julie might go in here and grab it from me because this is all considered one room. Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to tell you our positive, negatives, and our neutrals, and then we'll tell you how we rate it on the BGG scale.
So here we go.
Okay, here we go. This is a really super fun race game, and it is geared towards 21 and up group. Yes, you can play with non-alcoholic drinks, but it really is geared towards adults, and which is great. I think the components are really nice. The cups are, really well made. The cards are real slick because they're coated so they can't get ruined if you were to spill a liquid.
Boy, everything's waterproof.
Yeah,
now this is
everything's
from
waterproof.
the expansion here. The pink does not come in the regular
that's
edition.
right.
This is the half pint.
And which is perfect because I am kind of a half pint.
Right.
All right. I think the art is hysterical, and it's not scary. It's just super fun. The names of the player, the what do you call them, tiles? It's just all super
rooms, yeah.
cute, really funny.
Yeah, a lot of puns.
As David mentioned, there's no player elimination, which I gave it a positive. I like that you can't die in this game. I love that. Yeah, you're penalized a little bit, but you're still there. I think it's awesome.
Well, it's interesting. Did I win when we played with David? I don't remember. Was it me or you?
I don't remember. It might have been me.
I think you won.
I don't know.
I wasn't getting any power-ups. And that was okay. Because what I was doing is I was picking... Because one thing I didn't mention is that when you get a 4th power-up, you just have to discard 1 on a revealed room somewhere. So that keeps people in the game that are not getting lucky. So I was running around picking up the stuff he was dropping. So I was still in the game. I did have a chance to win. But it came down to these two...
I think I did win.
Yeah, you did. It came down to you two dueling. I was...
Yeah.
I was close.
There was a lot of beer involved, so I don't remember everything. The only negative I have is that the tiles are really difficult to flip. And I have fingernails, mind you, and it's still, when we were playing on our dining room table, it still was hard for me to flip
they're really
it.
thin, and it's great that they're waterproof. Now, on this surface, because it's a cloth surface,
It'll be a lot easier.
it's no problem. But if you're on a hard table,
It's very difficult.
it can be frustrating sometimes.
And then when you have some alcohol thrown in there, it makes it a little bit more
So let's see what I have to say. Okay, so it's a clever take that race game for 21 plus audience. I wouldn't want to even play this with children.
No.
Because it implies that,
a lot of drinking stuff.
yeah, and even if you make it milk or Coke, I guess you could, but I wouldn't play this with
No.
young people.
I would not either.
So it's funny art and puns. That's like what Julie says. Waterproof! Exclamation! That was an awesome idea.
Yeah.
And the components are decent. I mean, nice chunky trap, and thematically,
I love it.
it's a bottle cap.
Bottle cap.
And here's the first player marker, and again everything. It's just very thoughtful, and the dice are nice and chunky. Not very heavily weighted though, but they're decent.
Yep.
So thoughtful Euro and Ameritrash game design, no player elimination. So the no player elimination is the Euro design part.
Oh.
You are in the game till the end, and like I said, even if you're getting unlucky and people are getting lucky, they have to give up their power-ups.
Right.
Though they're not really going to be discarded. The Ameritrash part That's, Julie's not familiar with that term, is the luck. It's basically Munchkin. If you played the game Munchkin, you got to roll 20-sided dice, and if you roll, you can get unlucky. And the fact, and the Euro design part here is the fact that you can't use all those loot cards and power-ups to defeat the main guy keeps people in the game. See, that's smart game design.
Oh.
So yes, Ameritrash, and the fact you can get very lucky or unlucky, but you're never gonna be out of the game.
That's what I love.
You may have to drink a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. So to take that mechanic as neutral, it works for this. You want to get people to drink. That's the whole purpose of this. And it's difficult to flip over tiles, so we agreed on that.
Yeah.
So let's take a look now at our rating using the BGG scale.
6.
Yeah. So we'll play this in the mood.
Yep.
And that's because we're older now.
Yeah.
So we made the mistake of playing with harder drinks the first time,
Ugh.
and it made our stomachs sick.
Yep.
Julie is a lightweight,
I am.
and I'm not. And then even when we played with beer,
We thought, first we played with wine. And we're like, oh yeah, no, we're never doing it with wine again.
Yeah.
We're going to do it with beer. So when we played with David Jr., who is almost 24, we played with beer thinking, oh yeah, the beer will be so much easier. It took me a couple days to recover.
well, the problem is we're older now.
We are.
I'm not used to drinking that much anymore. I mean, I didn't. It's just not. It's just bad on our stomach. So
Yeah.
we're at an age now, and I guess our where we're at diet-wise,
Yeah.
you know, your body changes as you get older. I can't drink that much anymore. So it'd probably be higher if we were able to handle drinking more.
I think because it didn't affect our son at all. But I mean, 2 beers, I was like, poof, I'm done.
Well, it just made my tummy upset to drink that
Yeah,
fast. I
because you have
wasn't,
to drink it fast, and it's like,
you know, I didn't pass out. So you're probably going to be
No.
drinking at least 32 ounces,
yeah, and that's too much for
at
me.
least. And I just can't. My tummy can't handle it anymore.
Me neither.
Drinking that much that fast. Over time I can, but then the
Yeah.
game would go really slow, and things like that. So we'd have to be in the mood. I think
I think we'd have to have a lot of bread in us too beforehand
Maybe.
to soak up the alcohol.
maybe. It's just a shame that, you know, the game is solid. It's great.
great.
If you want to drink and have it's a great party game. It's just for us,
We have to be
we've
in the
changed.
mood. Yeah.
We've changed now. We
And
just
that's
can't. We just
okay.
can't handle the alcohols like we used to.
No.
Oh well, it's still a good game.
It's still a really fun game. And we will play this again, maybe over the holidays when, you know, we have family visiting or something.
Well, when my brother comes over, we'll play this with him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things you bring over when you have a lot of people coming over.
Yeah.
And I can predict that people are going to be playing this at conventions.
I think
Yeah.
so.
When,
And
when
like
they're in
I
the hotel lobbies and things
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
But like I said, if we play this again, when we do play it again with my brother-in-law, I will make sure I have a lot of bread in me to soak up the alcohol.
Yeah. I just have to, maybe I'd have to pick the right kind of beer too. Maybe it was,
I don't know, that beer was really good. Modelo rocks.
yeah, well, maybe I do better with Miller Lite. Maybe that it is.
I'll stick to
So-
Modelo. I love
Okay.
it.
Anyway,
Anyway,
there you go. Good
thanks
game.
so much. We'll see you guys
Just
in
for
the
us.
next video.
Just for us. Got to do it in the mood.
Yep.
All right. Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Bye.